Cheese don't work, you know, it's stick with standard. You know, there's a reason standard is there. It's what Moscow 5 have perfected. A lot of teams have changed to that sort of thing. It's what these teams perfected, and people have just copied it, duplicated it, and made it best.
I think on top of that, though, is people have such a stigma about Cheese, how it's all about the surprise, or it's all about just not showing people the strategy. But what teams end up doing with that is they just don't practice it against the proper competition. If Dignitas wants to run a jungler with a roamer who follows him around, that's something they can do, but that's something they need to practice against more than one team in scrims. They need to try it in serious situations instead of holding it down, because when these teams bring these out, even clg with their triple teleport, they pulled it off once today, but they get themselves in trouble with that composition. I think those are good strategies, they're just not polished.
Yeah, indeed, it can backfire quite heavily. So Udyr and Irelia being picked up by Dignitas. Dignitas are actually going standard here, so we're going to see I Will Dominate on Udyr. Pretty standard stuff. We're going to see Crumbs on Irelia, again, very standard stuff. However, we're seeing a little bit of difference here from Najin Sword. So we've got Shen in there. We've also got Lee Sin in there. Something I think that's the first Lee Sin we've seen today.
I think you're right with this. I haven't seen it either. That can go top lane or in the jungle, and that's a very divey champion. That's going to fit right in with what Najin Sword wants to do.
Surprises me, though.
Surprised we haven't seen Lee Sin. Well, we haven't seen Moscow 5 play yet, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean,
and
of course,
some of the
you'd expect it from Diamond Procs, but
right.
Honestly,
the Blitzcrank too.
And that's the first Blitzcrank we said. We mentioned it in the previous game, you know, how surprised we were that we haven't seen Dignitas or anyone pulling out the Blitzcrank when he was so strong in North American Regionals.
And it's good against the Sona too, because Sona is so cheeky about getting up there and trying to poke you out. Putting a rocket grab right into her face can stop that pretty quickly.
I feel my words are starting to blend into all the commentators. I heard Freak and Rip saying cheeky earlier. I mean, my Britishness is starting to blend across to America. Normally I'm meant to pick up the American accents when I come over here, but
that'll happen.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll still drink tea, so I'll keep you guys. I'll keep bringing my Britishisms. And well, there is Anivia. So finally, we do get to see an Anivia today. Not really on the team that everyone wanted to see it on, but you know what? Song is pretty damn good on Anivia.
He's practiced so much of it, and this is really, when at least clg was in Korea, they were talking about how many good Anivias there were, because you don't see much good Anivia play out of North America. So Scar's played a bit of it himself. I'd almost rank him as the best American Anivia, but that's still low down on his tier of champions. So they don't have that much experience playing against a really good Anivia, and that's what Song can bring to the game. It's going to be potentially really dangerous for Diana.
So it looks like we are going to get things underway. And honestly, how do you see these team comps going? I mean, Dignitas look like they've gone fairly standard this time, which I think they should have done earlier.
I think they've went fairly standard. They've also went very dive heavy. Diana with Irelia, with the Blitz hooks, and the Udyr who's already in there. They don't actually have really much of a front line. It's just all a dive line. They're all trying to go in, which is actually really, really dangerous, considering Kane's counter initiation with his crescendos and just trying to dive onto Anivia is really hard. So they have to execute amazingly well if they want to come out on top here.
So we are getting into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It is the final one of the day, so please give your appreciation for both sets of playing game. It ended up a 1v1, which was probably not pleasant for you guys at home to watch. But yeah, don't do that, guys.
To be fair, that's the most honest elo that person has ever gained.
Yeah, because he's done a straight-up 1v1 fight.
Teammates didn't feed.
Everyone AFK. So we are underway. If you just joined us, Dignitas in the blue, and of course that means Najin Sword in the red. Skara with a crimson slash straight across flares. Oh look, there's a bunch of players in that bush. I'm not going that way. Actually, they were stood on top of a ward as well, so they weren't exactly being sneaky. Level 1 engages have been ropey, to say the least. Some of them have came off really well. Some of them, I'm not too sure. I think tomorrow we're going to see some crazy level 1 stuff.
And really the coolest one we saw all day was the very first match, where we saw them scout over Dragon Pit with the Jarvan flag, and then Corki valked over just to give vision, and they created the first blood. That was IG against Azubu Frost. That was absolutely unreal. I don't think Najin Sword is really going to do anything creative this game. If there's anything that you do want to hide for the next round, it would be your level 1 invades. So both teams actually just going pretty standard, going to fight it out normally.
So let's get underway and see how things are going to work out. Nothing crazy coming out from the jungle either, and anything to begin with. We are seeing, looking like going to be the raid start, the golem pull for Dignitas.
And here's another thing though, is Prey and Kane are taking the wolves while Lee Sin starts with the race. They're just trying to counteract the experience you get from the double golems just by taking the wolves.
So as it is, you can see me on the screen, which is
I was about to pick my nose. I think. And then I saw
but that's
the
nice.
screen.
That's nice.
Yeah, I just thought they weren't watching.
Yeah,
So.
just you thought they weren't watching, but
Yeah,
really
then it's okay, right? If no one sees it.
it's okay if the director just sees it, you know. And everybody else is here live watching.
Only 100,000 people saw it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's nothing serious. So while we were waffling, Najin Sword have managed to sneak in there and steal away the blue buff. They are going to head up towards that top lane. Can they get a gank on towards Crumbs already? The I will dominate man to smite down his own red, so he's going to find out. Let's have a look at the top lane though. We can see Watch is
right away for Crumbs.
He's going to get around the backside of Crumbs. He does manage to get the slowdown. The ignite goes down. They're going to follow full dive, and that is first blood. And Lee Sin picks that one up. McNoon helping him out, and Watch. Well, there you go. You got to play Lee Sin more, guys.
So I Will Dominate decided to start with the red. Wish I wasn't worried about watching the screen there because I want to know what I Will Dominate and why they allowed that blue to get stolen, because that denied them the vision onto Lee Sin. They had no idea he was coming up top, and Crumbs just got caught completely off guard. McNoon waited until just the right moment to get that flash taunt down. He waited for Crumbs to flash to make sure he'd get the CC on him, and they guaranteed the kill at the end.
So Najin Sword down this bottom lane. We saw how strong the bottom lane was against clg.eu. Prey and Kane are such a fierce combo, and still they continue to allow Kane onto Sona. Sona just pokes out that aggressive poke, and I guess probably like most champions, if we can get to look at the skill level on Kane, see whether he is leveling up the Q. I guess he is. It's something we've seen a lot of on a lot of Sonas. Gosu Pepper does it heavily, puts about maybe 1 or 2 points in heal at max, and goes 5 points in aggression.
Another thing about that is, nice hook.
They're going to dive in. The exhaust goes down. Kane gets hooked in. Kane will certainly go down just as I sing his praises. I put the commentator's curse on him, and Dignitas pick up a revenge frag there, and I'm a cutie pie, picks it up. Frag, sorry guys, I am an FPS captain.
So that's the Blitzcrank coming in to try to punish the Sona. She got aggressive trying to get those Qs, which I was going to get into. You level up Q sometimes because that doesn't have mana cost on level up, but the W does. So if you want to continue to cycle your stances or your songs, you do want to put more points in a Q. It's also great for harassment. But with all that, as he was trying to harass, hooked him and died.
Poked him straight back, Blitzcrank down that bottom. He's got to be careful he doesn't get hooked in again. It doesn't matter. Song versus Scar in mid lane. As it is, they're just keeping themselves at bay. I mean, how would you certainly rate these lanes to start with? I mean, Scar at the moment here, something I was not expecting him to be on Diana against Song on Anivia.
It's something that Scar's played a bit of in solo queue, and it's an interesting matchup because if he gets the vacuum onto Song, he should interrupt the ultimate channel. So if he can land his Q, he'll be able to dash through the walls. Anivia won't really be able to stop Scar's assault on top of him, and he can also counter shove Anivia fairly well. Anivia will get the initial shove, but Scar would be able to come back with it. So if Scar can get a blue buff later and Song stops pushing him out of lane, he's a potentially strong assassin for getting onto Anivia.
So 5 minutes gone in this game. At the moment, bottom lane is where the action's likely to happen, I feel. We are seeing Song continuing on Scar, continuing that poke. It'd be nice to have a look down the bottom lane at some point, though. Oh, wow. That's great. That's the excitement I was really hoping for. Cutie by Patoy going back to base.
Well, that was strong poke just coming out of Kane and Prey. That's what the Sona lane brings to them, and that's why they've been so dominant with it. You can't get mini kills if you're constantly having to go back to shop. They need to find ways to get more aggressive and avoid getting poked, or maybe just get more passive and then pick your fights better. Because right now it's 35-30. Even though Cutie has that kill in the bottom lane, it's still getting pressured.
Well, I mean, the big advantage they've got in that mid lane is the fact that Song has had that blue, because obviously they stole the blue earlier on, which allowed Song to pick up the blue of his own, and just, you know, completely negates that slow farm session that Anivia will have in the early levels. And instead, now he's just going to push on. He's going to hit 6 in a minute. He's just going to become stronger and stronger. He's got a full mana bar.
And it's great because he's just spamming skills down to Scar. Scar has to go back to base for being out of mana, and Song's about to hit 6, so he's sitting pretty in that lane. I Will Dominate trying to invade, but he's a little slow behind on jungle right now. He's picked up that early Philosopher's Stone, only level 4 as well as Watch, but he has not pulled off. He didn't get that kill. He only got an assist in his gank. He needs to power up on Udyr, especially against Nibby. It takes forever for Udyr to get to his target in a team comp like this, so he has to be tanky.
Oh, that hook being pretty much telegraphed by Patoy there on Kane, trying to catch him out there. Meanwhile, the top lane is engaged on one another. If we can look at the top lane, you can see Crumbs is being dived on by McNoon here. The ignite goes down. It looks like Crumbs will get dropped by McNoon. One more dash. Will he follow it through? There it is. Sword in the back. And McNoon in a 1v1 straight picks up that fight.
So we said early on in the keys to the game, Dignitas has to support Crumbs, but so far it's been Najin Sword supporting McNoon. That gank early game set him up to win, and then Dignitas has done nothing to try to get him back into it. Even in the Saigon Jokers game, we saw the counter gank come up once he started to get punished in that lane, but right now, that's a 2, now 3 level advantage that MacNoon has in the top lane. He's level 7 to Crumbs is 4. That is going to be a disaster in the making.
Oh, we've got a top and a bottom line dive. He's going to go on towards IMQT, they should be able to finish this one off, and it's actually MacNoon used his ulti, which has absolutely saved him, because Skara had gone top to try and get the gank in the bush, but instead he used his ulti and went bottom lane, and Skara's just like, great, I've just gone up top and absolutely wasted my time.
The help that Scar wanted to give Crumbs this whole time, spent the whole moment running up there, and as soon as he arrived, as soon as he was about to try to jump onto MacNoon, goes bot lane for a kill. What's up?
And is that just luck, or is that just simply knowing? They
Oh,
just
and here comes
he's
Scar,
going to dive on towards Song, actually. He's going to try and catch him out. Has got the rebirth certainly to pop in. He should get close enough to his tower to be safe. But no, the rebirth doesn't even get popped. Yes, it does. He forced it to get popped, and he's just going to back away from that one. So Scar just simply taking that cooldown off.
The thing is, he took the cooldown off, but he also now has to go shop himself, and he already had an experience advantage. Song comes up with full health, so he's going to be able to continue farming. That probably wasn't a good call to go back in for that egg.
We are seeing MacNoon joined by his jungler Lee Sin in that top lane. Is he going to try and bait him in there? I don't think Crumbs even wants a piece of this. He's going to try and go back to base. I think Lee Sin may just take a look at it. No, instead he's going to go back himself. Let's have a look down that bottom lane. We did see a couple of hooks and kills going down here, but Toy did go down a few moments ago. As it stands, Najin Sword still continuing to look very strong in this game. Very much a slower start than we have seen in the previous matches though.
It's a slower start, but it's still a lot of aggression. The Shen ult was used powerfully for the kill in the bottom lane. MacNoon is decimating Crumbs thus far, and in mid lane, they're just doing the Anivia thing. You don't necessarily go all out aggressive early with Anivia. Wait until they start roaming around. Those walls are going to try to cut people off. They're going to try to create action that way. Overall, though, this is still a reserved advantage that they've gained so far. It's only 1,000 gold at the 9-minute mark. Dignitas actually hasn't fallen that far behind just yet.
So Lee Sin picking up the red buff. Meanwhile, Crumbs is really being pressured in that top lane, isn't he? MacNoon with such a huge health advantage already, seemingly. Has got that giant spell all on him. Is he going? What's he going first off there? He's never going Guardian Angels flat out, surely.
No, he might be going for an early Sunfire cape up on Shen, so he's just going to use that to push lane and keep the pressure on Crumbs. Oh, we have Roam coming towards bottom. Scar trying to jump in onto Prey.
Yeah, he's going to go in. He does flash stun on towards Kane. That's going to be the crescendo, though, going straight across. IMQT hasn't gone down. Instead, they may well be able to get on towards Kane there. They do finish Kane off. That's going to be the Ezreal ultimate as well. And, well, honestly, IMQT did a fantastic job of getting away from that one and avoiding the damage. Crescendo, for once, was not the counter gank they needed.
So close to being able to take him down, but just too many members of Dignitas. That was a 4v2 at the end of the day, so they weren't quite able to turn a 1v1 out of that. They don't go for a dragon out of that, though, but Song getting a little aggressive with that fade. I don't think Scar's going to be able to catch him out.
No, Song's going to get caught. He's going to get pulled in, but is it going to be enough? He's just going to flash across. He has got the ultimate. Yeah, he's just going to keep them back away, like you said. Hasn't got enough to keep them away. And his Heg will be back in around about 1 minute's time.
Dignitas trying their best to stay in this. Scar trying to roam around a lot. You have to make action happen on Diana, and Scar actually realizes this. It's a bit different than his regular strategy on champions, which is just farm the lane, make the action come to you because you're creating so much pressure. We've already seen him try to go top for MacNoon. That didn't work. The gank bottom did. Crumbs still level 6 to MacNoon's 9. That is really disastrous. 82 to 39 in the minion kill category. Song keeping those blue buffs coming. Scar doesn't have a blue buff right now for himself. Despite only 1,000 gold disadvantage with all the things stacking against them, I'm wondering if that's going to grow pretty soon or not.
Indeed, the Toy's still trying to land that hook, and it's one of those things. It's all well and good taking Blitzcrank, but you've got to land those hooks. You've got to make the plays. Is enough happening in this bottom lane for Dignitas to just, justify having Blitzcrank in there? We saw Curse rocking Blitzcrank pretty heavily throughout those North American regionals. It worked very well, and again, put Toy missing the hook.
It's actually somewhat of a common misconception on Blitzcrank. While the hooks are very important, they're the most clutch things, so much of his power comes from running up to people for close range hooks or just punching them straight in the air. As Scar gets 3-man ganked in mid.
Yeah, that's Jen coming in. MacNoon's going to cast a stun there. Straight on towards it. Lee Sin kicks him straight back across there. Watch when it finished off, and it was Songa picked it up. There's the hook actually on towards Bray. Bray surely going to get caught out here. But Toy should be able to finish him off. Yes, he does. But Toy takes him down. Kane was trying to actually finish off IMQT. He's trying to delay it long enough for Watch to get in there. Instead, he gives him a double kill. Watch may be able to get in there and finish this one off, though. IMQT lands the kick. There it is. headshot straight down. Patoy now also got to be careful. Hooks him in towards the tower. That's a second, a third tower hit. Now Song's going to try and close in towards Patoy, but I think Patoy has managed to close the distance and get the hell out of there.
Good play overall by Dignitas. Actually, they're keeping up with this. They're only 1 kill behind and 1,000 gold down. So if they just continue with this, they have to start forcing it around now. They've made it to a mid-game in a point where they could take an advantage, so they need to turn around on that. Najin Sword has a better late game. Crumbs has to find ways to catch up, but if the other 4 members can make it into the game, they might have a chance. And here comes a Dragon fight.
Like you can see Lee Sin's actually getting caught out by Elbow Dominant there, but immediately Song comes in to support him, has to pop that Turtle Shield and back away, but he did force Watch away. And he was thinking of, I believe, going for Dragon. Oh, whoa! McNoon Flash in there. Thought he was going to go for the aggression on Crumbs there. Crumbs had already backed away to Wolves, actually. So Flash burned out there. Just showing his full aggression. He didn't even know he was there, and he just went for it.
And look at this, actually. Even though McNoon has over double the CS of Crumbs, or actually it's exactly double, -1, I Will Dominate has an absurd score compared to Watch's. Watch has 47 minions to 93 by Owl Dominate's Uter. He's actually becoming really, really beefy and tanky. That might be something good. Hopefully he can take on McNoon with that. It's going to be scary for them otherwise because Owl Dominate really has to pick it up and try to carry his team.
He may have to. You can see Lee Sin making his way down the bottom lane. Is he going to pull out Dragon? It looks like he's soloing Dragon to me, or going to about think about it.
Watch has spent so much time roaming around here. It's how Owl Dominate's gotten this minion advantage on him, and he's pretty far behind in experience too. I'll dominate 2 levels ahead of the enemy Lee Sin. Well, now just 1.
Yeah, he's standing on top of the ward as well, which is why Scarra's already backing away. Well aware that the wards are around there. I mean, well, this bottom lane is actually been fairly even. 90 CS to 87. It's 2-2-2 for K.
Now he's trying to solo the Dragon too.
He is trying to solo the Dragon. You can see it is Lee Sin off there. That's one of those things you're just going to keep your eye on. Kind of expected that one. Oh, we are seeing actually very aggressive in that mid lane. McNoon coming around as well. Just forcing Scarra back from that turret, and they're just really helping out, keeping people busy in the lanes right now, so Watch can take this Dragon on his own.
Just pressure by Najin Sword. Dignitas didn't have the right ward coverage to realize he'd exit his jungle and go towards that Dragon. They don't even realize it's been gone yet. When Scar roams down here, they will realize it, but they won't have a timer. They have no idea when that thing went wrong. Yeah. They were actually just going to make a play for it themselves since Song had just ran out of mana and was about to go back. They were going to turn around and be like, hey guys. But nope, it's already gone. Song soloed it. Watch soloed it.
That's one of those things you got to expect with Lee Sin. Something Diamondbox does all the time. So Scarra returns back to farming. And McNoon back up top, farming away. 128 CS to 68. Massive goal difference. 202 Sunfire Cape on. Hasn't even bothered doubling up those boosts, just went straight Sunfire Cape. Look at that, 5,400 gold compared to 3,200. Huge advantage. Where's the ulti and where's he going?
He's just escaping. He knew there were 3 members coming up to gank him. They were going to try to make a great chase. Instead of giving him a show, he's just, nah, I'm out of here.
Pops the taunt. I like it, McNoon. I like it. Oh, he's just trolling his way through this game. This was the whole tournament, to be honest. He's been doing a fantastic job. We saw him on Nidalee earlier. Apparently Nidalee counts as everything nowadays. I wasn't aware of that. How long with Jace?
Nidalee and Jace are actually 2 of the strongest laners in the game. McNoon thinks the only thing that can beat Jace in lane or lane with him is a Nidalee. So he's mastered both of them just so he understands the matchup.
It's just the key way to do it. You got to understand how to play against the hardest champion you feel that you could come up against. So the question is, who plays the strongest Nidalee in top lane that is remaining? Would it be Type A Assassin or is it Team WE?
I actually wouldn't know on that. Nidalee is not the super common champion pick.
Well, Stanley
nowadays.
plays everything.
Stanley does play everything, so
yeah.
From the Type A Assassins, you're very accurate on that assessment. So he could very well come at him. He could also play a pretty good Jace against him as well. If they match up, that's one of the draws potentially they could get next day.
I think what Chow Mei could possibly play for World Elite, or WE I should say. Get the naming correctly on this one. McNoon, meanwhile, is just continuing his farming session. It's looking like bottom lane's where the action's going to happen, though. We can see Scarra dangling around there. If Patoy can land something, the hook is available to him. He's actually almost being baited out by him by Prey there. You can see him just like, yeah, come at me, take it.
Yeah, at this point, if he hooked in Prey, that would just line them up for Crescendo. He would Valk away and then just start dumping damage on them. Pulling Corki's a disaster at this point. You have to pull Sona.
Is he thinking of coming around the backside of Scarra here? He could go taunt straight through.
They're shoving up the tower. He's wasted his Crescent Strike on the wave early. He's not going to be able to kill this wave. They could try a good dive, but they have 3 members if they want it.
Yeah, and here comes McNoon. Lee Sin's there as well. Watch comes around. He's going to try and flash through. Manages to get through to the Wraiths. but he's just going to have to continue running. He will escape. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, Patoy's going to try and catch him towards Kane. Kane going in towards the crescendo, actually failing because it hit the, I think it hit the turtle shield there on towards I will dominate. Didn't get caught out there, trying to continue on towards Bray. Hasn't got the damage. They're not going to get it poked down. I'm included by one more tower hit. Should be enough. Let Kane get the poke on him. He does! One more basic attack did it. And now Kane is going aggressive because here comes Song trying to go diving in towards that tower. Not going to land the stun though. Gets the wall, hooks straight in. Patoy should go down from the back of this one. Yes, he does. Song can tank that just about enough there. And he manages to get away with it. Very crazy aggression here. Watch cannot follow through on this one. Crystal Strike just missing out on Watch as well. Will keep him away, and they should take this bottom turret as well.
Something that's making Najin's Sword so strong in this group stage is their commitment to ganks and to each other. If they're going, they're all going. If they're running away, they're all falling back. And it's just no hesitation, instantaneous reaction as a team, which is really impressive considering they've only been together for 3 or 4 months.
They're after Skara. Watch is trying to track him down. We've got Song coming around the backside. There's the wall. He's just carrying in his path. McNoon's coming to cut him off as well. He's going to have to go down there. Crumbs is trying to beat on him. And that's going to be Skara diving onto a Song. Song's got to be careful. He's going to have to shed onto him, but McNoon's going to dive across towards him, just following straight in their path. And Crumbs is going to have to back away from that one. Song doesn't want Rebirth popping, so he's just going to back off from this one. Watch his... He's going to get egged anyway because I'm included by there. Patoy comes straight in. He knows he's on that point. They're going to try and damage him as much as they can. Yes, Song goes down. McNoon's got to be careful now. The rest of Dignitas should be able to dive, and McNoon will drop. And there is a double kill for Skara. Maybe the thing that Skara needed, maybe what Dignitas needed. Now he will dominate now, getting the stun down on Watch. Watch with an Oracle. He does not want to go down from this one. He should be safe getting back to the turret.
Good turnaround overall by Dignitas. You can see Najin's Sword got a little overzealous in that jungle. McNoon potentially getting a little too greedy, trying to counter jungle and push up on Crumbs too far. Unable, though, to really take anything out of that outside of the kills. They could not push mid. That was a good hold by Najin's Sword. If anything, that just helped Crumbs get some assists and get some traction in this game. He's able to get some farm in that top lane off of that. And with the double GP10, he will be able to get items if they can stretch.
They can stretch it. And remember, these teams have been here for a long time today. They've been here throughout the entire day. I'm not too sure what time Dignitas and Najin Sword turned up. It was very early on the day, so they've been sat watching everything that plays out throughout the day. There's been a lot of pressure on them. I feel, you know, it's a high-pressure situation at the end of the day. There's $1 million up for grabs for the winner. $2 million in total prize money. It is a massive prize here at the World Playoff Finals in Los Angeles. And honestly, it's been a fantastic day of gaming. You know, this is just the start. This is just the start. Day one, the group stages. And records were broken left, right, and center, I feel. So, you know, honestly, Dignitas, they should be proud. They played in a strong competition. And Najin Sword, though, we're seeing the Koreans turn up. Just looking unbeatable right now.
Both of these Koreans, if they do carry on to beat Dignitas here, 3-0 in both of their group stages and looking strong going into the set.
You know, that's a big statement to the world. The Korean teams both coming in, bearing in mind Zubu Foster could have feel they should have been in that quarterfinal instant tier 1 draw. There we go. That's going to be Shirelia's Reverie Pot. They're trying to close on towards Skara there. I think he was trying to escape just at the top of your screen. Wasn't going to happen though.
And you know what, actually? They're doing a lot of grouping around. They're getting this dragon, but they're going to lose a tower for this. And Crumbs trading that tower.
No, McNoon's heading up there. McNoon's going to catch.
They might try to go for
Tribush, top lane. You can see McNoon catching on towards Skara there. And he's actually coming up to defend that turret. So you say he's going to try and catch it instead. I will dominate, might get caught out here. Oh, the Anivia wall. That's one of those things. It can work or it can make you look really bad.
Just very max range wall. Not quite working out. I will dominate a little too fast. But you know what? Dignitas actually stretching this game fairly well. The bleeding's been stopped by Crumbs. He was 60 minion kills down about 10 minutes ago, and now that he's still only 60 minion kills down means McNoon stopped really crushing him. He's only 2 levels back. The overall gold is only 4,000. They have a lot of GP10 items going.
Oh, the hook on Bray there. Beautiful, beautiful hook. That's what Patoy needed to do earlier on. Skara picks another kill up. Skara can start a snowball here. He's 4-1-0. If he can start getting a lot more damaging items, he could be deadly in team fights. As it is, they're going to take this mid turret and they're going to continue pushing. Meanwhile, at the top lane, it's I will dominate. McNoon having a little poke, but we are going to stick to this mid lane because you see they're going to be forced back again there. And they're just going to hold things off. Skara continuing that farming session. Probably not happy that he's just lost his farming record.
Yeah, hopefully not. He worked hard for that record. Yeah, I think he did take a fair bit of pride in that. He'll have to work hard in Season 3 to get that back again from Froggen. But even just in this game, they pretty much have to be able to dive through the inhibi wall. The only member of their team that actually can't do something to get through that is I Will Dominate's Uter. So in that way, he's going to have to be more of a peeler for the people diving onto them, because if he goes for Nibby, he's never going to be able to get there. As a team, though, it's not terrible. If Skara, Patoy, Crumbs all get through and shut down Song at the start of a fight, they might be able to take something.
Oh, I Will Dominate thought he could teleport away there. He's going to get caught up by McNoon, but I'm not too sure McNoon has the damage just yet. He's only got that wit set to go with the Sunfire Cape. Along with the phase as well, of course. He's got a bit of attack damage in there, but we talked about it earlier, how strong I Will Dominate is right now. He's got a lot of farm for a champion in their jungle. 142 CS, all the stun working out very well for Song there. They were trying to hook on towards Kane. Kane's just going to speed himself away from that one. Watch is also going to come in and cut off. But while this is all happening, Prey is getting free farm in that bottom lane. Mangoon and Kane chasing I Will Dominate away.
Mangoon's spending a lot of time trying to shut down I Will Dominate in that lane, or really just trying to create split push. He's ran I Will Dominate out of mana, so he would actually be able to split push that, as they're all just having to fall back in the middle lane because there's a bit too much pressure being applied to their side lanes.
Yeah, Prey had actually teleported back and made sure he didn't get caught out of position. The rest of the team do fall back, so they're going to pick up the red buff for Prey. And Dignitas have fell back. McNoon continues just that split push farming. 202 CS right now, leading CS on the whole team. And that red buff will get given across to Prey. No problems. What are Najin Sword going to do? They are starting to group up. The ping goes down onto Crumbs, so they're saying, yep, we know Crumbs is here. Are we going to close in on him? Walking straight through a ward there. I don't think there's an Oracle. Is there an Oracle on Najin Sword yet?
There is. Watch has the Oracles on Lee Sin.
So as it is, they're going to come across. Blue buff, I believe, must be up soon, but they're just going to close in on this turret. Dignitas have to react to this one. They could go full-on dive here. This could be the first time proper team fight we see. There's the Absolute ulti blasting across, hit 3 of them. And Dignitas clean that off. And you know, Najin Sword, they're giving them a lot of respect here. They are backing away from this one again. They do not want to go too aggressive.
They might just try to work around Baron. These are very dangerous areas for Dignitas to try to poke through. If they don't go through altogether, Song can split off the team in those choke points with the wall, assuming Dignitas comes to check. And here comes Control. He might get caught out.
Oh, but he's managed to flash away just in time. Is it going to be enough? The manager's going to pop. He gets dropped straight away. Praise on there. Crescendo hits 2 of them. Skara and the wall drops. And Crumbs is now completely separated. I Will Dominate in there, but there's not a lot he can do about it. He's going to be able to flash away. Doesn't matter. Meanwhile, you can see McNoon going balls deep on Imacutie. Skara also going to get caught out. That's going to be McNoon taking Imacutie down. Skara tries to get across. Crescent's last gets him across there, but the stun lands from Song, and they will drop Skara down. McNoon eventually drops in the process, but it's enough, and I Will Dominate just being played with by Watch. They're kicking him like a big football, and he's not doing anything. The rest of the team now starting to make their way back. They're picking up blue buff, but honestly, Najin Sword had a perfect fight there.
Everyone dove together. They just went in. Even the tower dive by McNoon died at the end of it, but it allowed them to get the shutdown on Skara's killing spree, so it was incredibly worth it. I Will Dominate trying to be as big a nuisance as he can, because he doesn't really fit into team fights. There's too much separation, there's too many dashes. He needs to make his presence known elsewhere, but it's just not seemingly enough. Najin Sword is too coordinated, they've been too good today, and Dignitas doesn't seem to quite be able to get their mitts on him.
So as it is, 11-8, Najin Sword. They have that gold advantage now. They definitely needed that one. They're going to pick up a huge creep wave down the bottom here for Prey. He's going to be happy with that one. Blasts his way through, picks up a whole bunch of gold, and then returns to the lane. Trinity Force now already picked up by him. Meanwhile, Trinity Force nearly completed by McNoon. Once he gets that on, he's going to be doing some serious damage. And honestly, Blitzcrank, how has it really worked out for them? Let's check out our replay though, Jat, here. Take us through this replay.
This last fight was actually very chaotic. That wall was really what created everything. Keep in mind, this was already a 4v5 when it started. The Lee Sin kick comes by, and Imacutie and Skara were never a part of this fight. Then McNoon continues it on. He got the taunt down early. Great flash overwall. That wall is very hard to flash. Skara did a pretty good job picking up that last kill. He burned his Ignite and everything. But the big thing about this is McNoon had a smaller killing spree than Skara, so his team got more gold for that exchange at the very end.
Yeah, because he was already 4-1-0, I believe, at that point. And he's now 5-2-0. So, well, he would have been 5-1-0 then in that case. Oh, hello, Chevaliers River being popped. Are they going to try and track down his I Will Dominate? They're chasing on here. You can see Prey's going to go in. Oh, Prey made the mistake. Dominate made the mistake of turning around, thinking it was only Prey there. Instead, the rest of the team come in, collapsing around him. There goes Song. There's the slow. Absolutely no chance there. 5-on-1, 4-on-1, sorry, because there is McNoon, of course, farming in that top lane.
just split pushing on Shen if he's not needed elsewhere. The other 4 members, as we've seen many times already, this group are very self-sufficient, and they really just enable Macnu to make plays on his own. 3rd Dragon, or his 4th Dragon in the game maybe, I think it's 3rd, coming in for Najin Sword. Big global gold lead starting to crop up, 6,000 as well as pressure. Macnu now having to deal with 2 members though. Is he going to be able to get away from this one?
He's just going to walk away, dashes out of the way, sidesteps it.
Really clever sidestep.
Matrix style, you know, just no problem. Keanu Reeves, Macnu dodging out of the way of it. Are they going to go for Baron here? I think they may well do. Or are they just going to try and bait it? There's absolutely no ward coverage from Dignitas. They've got no vision at all. Instead, they're going to do exactly what they did. Patoy is going to walk straight into the same trap. This time, though, he put the ward down. This time he was ready. The stun comes out, doesn't quite catch on towards Scar. The very same play, nearly repeated by Patoy there. Wow.
And now Dignitas making sure to try to ward over, but these are going to keep getting cleared out, and they only have so many remaining. I will dominate with the last 3 wards for their team. Najin Sword can either just take the Baron now or get ready to peel. I think they're strong enough that if they were to tank the Baron, they'd be able to peel, but instead they're just going to try to force the team fight right in the middle.
The crescendo straight across Scar. Scar's trying to zip around, but Kane manages to get in there. Song finishes him off. Bray's going to get dropped, I think. No, he's just about surviving in there, but Imaqtpie to pick up the kill. Can he do all the distance? Imaqtpie still at the bottom, trying to do as much damage, but it doesn't matter because Song manages to pick up a double. I will dominate, causing the problems, and finally Macnu gets on Imaqtpie. That means there's no more damage left, and Dignitas are going to get dropped here. Imaqtpie is going to get Macnu all over him in a moment. There comes Watch, it's going to just flash in there. The taunt will come out eventually. He's just going to try and dive towards the turret, trying to just delay as much as possible. The rest of the team, though, are not falling for these tricks, and they're continuing to push on the turret. Song, slowly but surely, you're not going to do a lot of damage there. Honestly, he could do with a little bit of help.
Najin's Sword just seeming to execute better in some of these team fights. They're landing the proper skill shots. Imaqtpie didn't have enough threat, and they realized that, but instant they had a chance to turn on him. Song was showing like he was fully distracted by Udyr, and Imaqtpie got kind of comfortable auto-attacking. There comes the Flash Frost. They got the stun. Flash taunt by Macnu at the end of that fight, and it was just, you know, the execution from Najin. They team fight faster than other teams I've seen in the past, and it's really, really impressive to watch. And it's something we saw from Azubu Blaze as well, and Azubu Frost, I guess you could say. Azubu Blaze reacted so quick when they were MLG New York to everything TSM did. TSM, you know, forced the aggressive plays, but they knew it was coming, and they were there ready and waiting for it every single time. And it's something we seem to see from the Korean teams. They're expecting the aggression, and they know how to counter it. You know, it's just a, I don't know, an ingrained thing, whether they've just practiced it so heavily against other aggressive teams. When they see an aggressive play, they're like, we know what is happening right here. We've seen it 100 times. And there is a big difference between a really top-tier team like Najin's Sword and someone who's not quite there. It's in the team fights. If you look at how low people get before they disengage, Najin's Sword, and especially Macnu, they are flirting with disaster the whole time. They'll leave fights with 50 and 100 health consistently because they are so good at judging what the enemy will do to them and what they can do to the enemy. Look at this bottom. And so many people leave fights with half health, 30%, and it's just a matter of, Macnu might leave us with nothing. Macnu actually baited in there. Imaqtpie purposely looked like he was solo there, and Skara stayed in that bush. Very good bait there from Dignitas, making it work there. They knew that Macnu's aggression was going to work out. Now Song's got hooked in. This could be another kill. This is another big turnaround from Dignitas here. They will take Song down off the back of this one. But there's the crescendo, the whole four-man all caught out there. Have they got the damage to finish off the job, though? The Crumbs is going to get in there. He takes down Song. Crumbs is so low, though, very right now. Bray's going to get caught on. That's the AD carry down for Najin's Sword. Immediately, Scar backs away from this one. He was a little bit too low, but Watch could get caught in. That's a great hook from Patoy. Heal's going to get dropped as well. That is a 4-for-1 exchange for Dignitas. They could pick up the Baron off the back of this one. Scar's low, but I Will Dominate should be able to tank this. They're going to try with the blue buff on I Will Dominate. He can take essentially all the Baron hits. Macnu's up in 6 or 7 seconds. Kane will be able to let him come in with the Shen ult. If he comes around the back or even just ults in, Macnu's going to try to come in, and he might ult in right now. He's going to ult in. Here comes Shen, and they're all realizing it. They're going to back away. There comes Macnu. He's going to burst through. He picks up the kill on Patoy. He's going to turn on towards I Will Dominate now. I Will Dominate's going to have to back away from this one because remember, Macnu has the damage. He picked up that Trinity Force. He's got the wit's end, and would you believe it? You can't keep a good man down. He thought he was pulling Sona. He was actually pulling Macnu right into his team. A little bit of a mistake there by Patoy. Got a little greedy. Kane presented himself actually expertly for that hook. They knew the plan. He didn't want to have Macnu have to taunt in. He wanted to give him a free ride into the Baron pit, and it worked out. They staved off disaster there with a clever play.
As soon as they did it, as soon as he hooked it, you saw the whole team go, what have we pulled? What did you do? And they had to pull out of it. So Dignitas, after a 4-1 exchange, they nearly got themselves back into it. But that shows, you know, that was a clever little ploy to catch out McNoon, using his aggression against him there. Skara just camping it out. Very nice play there. Dignitas proved, you know, if they can get there's another team fight like that, they may be able to get themselves back into it. Let's check out the replay of this one, Jack.
So take a look here, very early on in the fight. They've already taken out McNoon. The pull onto Song, the egg comes down, and here is where Najin Sword isn't quite sure whether to leave him or continue fighting. Right now they decide to go, so they get the crescendo down. Song pops up for a split second and gets some damage down, but still it's not quite enough. Scar getting away with the sliver, Crumb's getting away with the sliver. No, Crumbs actually goes down, I'm sorry, but you know, this is what we talked about, the good teams. Scar being able to still contribute to a fight, despite having almost no health, is the mark of a player who knows exactly what they're doing. And even though they've lost this game, even though they may go 0-3 in this group, it's not because they're not a great team. They made it to the world.
Yeah, they've not lost the game yet. As it is Najin Sword, though, I don't think they're going to get caught out by any sloppy play from this time, but you can see the pings going down. Suddenly, Najin Sword are going to have to take this one a little bit more serious, not go for quite the individual plays. Dignitas are going to start off on the bound. There is a ward at the back of that pit there, so they're going to be fully vision. But Toy's going to clear that out. Now the question is, do they have
They're trying to rush this down. It's getting pretty low.
The Ezreal ultimate's gone across. There comes Kane. He's going to go to Dignitas. He should be able to get the crescendo down. The Baron has gone down, and Dignitas have picked up the Baron. They managed to get in there. Have they got the damage? So Najin sort of doing the team fight. Skara's going to get dropped eventually. There goes Skara. I'm a cutie pie just off at the side. Have they got the damage? Song hasn't got his egg available. Ariel dominates, trying to finish him off, but he gets stunned up. He can't get the last hit down, and Song manages to get away, and now it is just I'm a cutie pie left. They just couldn't quite get the damage in the right place. Beautifully controlled by Najin Sword there. They tanked it up perfectly.
And Dignitas actually did a really good job in that fight. They never allowed Song to get his Glacial Storm ultimate down for any period of time. They'd always interrupt it immediately. They positioned quite well. They weren't caught in AoEs, but they just, even with the Baron, they were a little bit low. They used all their skills on the Baron, or at least some of them, and they just lost the team fight straight up. Najin Sword obviously executed as well, but that was a clever play by Dignitas. The rush and to get the Baron was a good move. It just didn't quite pay off with the 4 deaths.
So, 10-3-9 McNoon. If ever there was someone heading for MVP in this tournament, he is definitely on the way. He's had some fantastic plays, but we talked about Kane with those crescendos earlier on. How he just lands them all the time. Watch McNoon go in, pick up another dragon, extend the gold lead. It is a pretty big gold lead, 24-14 in terms of kills, 5-2 in terms of turrets, and now the gold stretches to 9k. Gold difference. Massive differences, but we've seen bigger throws. The question is, can Dignitas, playing for pride here, remember, they are already going to be going out of this tournament. McNoon and co, I guess you could say Najin Sword, the team that was created for McNoon off the back of OGN Spring Championships, definitely has created a monster in Najin Sword.
Oh, they're on to McNoon once again.
He's going to use his ulti and just say, see ya.
He waited for the Bear stance. The instant I will dominate stun him with Bear, he decided to switch over for his ultimate. There's a 5-second delay on that Bear stun on the single target, so he was able to ultimate away. Did manage to burn the ultimate, did manage to get him low, so not a total loss for Team Dignitas. And also here, now that Najin Sword is still ahead and they've regained control, normally their play would be to poke around Baron, but Dignitas has already cleared that out, so what are they going to do to try to force here? There is this outer tower down in the top lane, and Scar is pushed up very, very far. He might actually try to assassinate Prey here. He might just end up going back as well. Not sure how Najin Sword's going to force this one.
Watching Kane closing in on him here, and I think Prey realizes where he is. Prey's just debating himself in here. Actually, they've gone a little bit too aggressive. They were thinking he was going to back away from this one. Scar instead has chose to fight. Now the Ezreal ultimate comes across. Prey is very low now. Scar is debating it. Oh, he misses the crescendo there as well, but managed to miss the Crescent Shroud, which means his cooldown will not be down. Scar is not going to be able to get out of this one, and that's going to be the kill for Prey.
If Prey would have been hit by a single Crescent Strike from Scar, he would have died to the Diana. So he did a good job baiting those out and dodging, pulling Scar into a pretty good kill.
Yeah, I will dominate's going to push on towards his top turret. McNoon's going to get the taunt on, which means the turret will turn its aggro. Meanwhile, the bottom turret is being taken down. Najin sort of taken one turret down. I'm not too sure whether Dominate's going to be able to get away from this one. McNoon has the damage now. He's picked up that Trinity Force. He's got the Force of Nature, as well. Just in case he needs a bit of magic resist.
Now Dominate uses his last bit of mana. He won't be able to turtle tank this for any longer.
I don't think there's anything that could kill Magnoon now, honestly, on the board. He's just got that much health, resist, armor. He's got everything in there. He's definitely tanky. He's definitely got the damage. And Najin Sword, slowly but surely, take down an inhibitor turret. Crumb's getting caught out by the wall there. Does manage to have to flash across. Has got the Guardian Angels. And Dignitas are going to try and push in this one. Can they try and force the fight here? Remember, the Shen ultimate is not available, actually. He can't join the party yet. He is just continuing to push that bottom lane. They do manage to hook it. Kane is it the right one they want? He's got Crescendo, of course he does. Always gets it back up. That's the Guardian Angel pop straight away and Crumbs there. Scar's going to try and join it. The wall though, straight away, Crumbs is going to get dropped down. Now Watch is going to go aggressive. He's going to go on towards Cutie. He's just going to have to back off from this one. While this is all happening, we are seeing Magnoon continuing to push the bottom lane. Bray gets hooked in towards the turret. Does manage to take him down. And I think that's going to be Najin Sword backing off this one. But not before they lose the bottom turret.
If they keep pressing, which Betroy wants to do, Magnoon does have his ultimate back up now, so they could turn something as soon as they commit.
Oh, they are. Watch his guy
coming in. Here it comes.
And that's going to be the Abyss coming in. There's the Magnoon ulti. That's what they were waiting for. Betroy gets called out. Song picks up the kill on the back of that one. Cutie now could be the next target. He's going to get taunted in shortly. Magnoon is just tanking his way to victory here. Everything is going down. Everything's being thrown at him. If he can put the camera just up a little bit more, we'll see that wall. Tanking through the wall from stopping Kane. Beautiful play from Song. Really, they are working so well as a team right now. I don't think there's a great deal lot Najin Sword can do other than just back off from this one. They were all pretty low. They're
just daring Dignitas to fight them in a lot of these situations. They were very low and they decided to just go back in. That's the aggression of Najin Sword. That's the power of Magnoon right now. He was actually diving into Nexus turrets to zone Cutie out of that fight. Second exposed inhibitor, they didn't quite get it. The middle inhibitor will be respawning soon. The Baron is actually coming up somewhat shortly, so they would be able to force onto that. The goal lead is extending, it's 10,000, but considering how late in the game it is, it would be somewhat dangerous. If they lose another team fight with this somewhat sloppy play, they could give up the game to Dignitas.
So Najin Sword are looking strong, let's put it that way. 29-15, we have an inhibitor turret exposed, we have an inhibitor down. We have the bottom lane very much in a precarious situation that Magnoon has just pushed it down into. Dignitas really have to sit back. How on earth, when you're in a situation like this, as a player, firstly, how do you keep your mind clear? And how do you try and get back into this one? I'm not even too sure they're going to get a chance to because Skara's going to get caught out here. Skara's going to get dived on. That means he's going to drop. He tried to put the damage down. He got Song on the back of me. He had no right to do that, but there's the crescendo across the team. They're going to turn it on towards Crumbs here. The rest of the Najin Sword coming around the side. It is still I Will Dominate, causing as many problems as he can. He's the only tank they have, but he's just going to get dropped. The damage is now too strong for Najin Sword. I Will Dominate can't tank them for too long. And well, you know what? I think Song going down there was a bit of a victory for Skara, but honestly, the rest of the team can't do a great deal about Najin Sword taking this inhibitor once again for free. They're just going to turn to the left. Oh no, you hooked to Magnoon. That's not what you wanted to do for Toy. He's just going to continue pushing through. Watch is actually tanking the turret up there. You can see the Aurelia ultimate coming out. They should just take the next inhibitor just above them. And there you can see Frey's going to finish that one off. Now they have two inhibitors down. It is almost curtains for Dignitas here. The final numbers should be up. And they will, if they lose this one, be 3-0 in group. It's not what the Dignitas fans wanted to see. You know, as a former member, I guess, of Dignitas a long time ago, it's not really what I'd like to see. But honestly, Najin Sword, you cannot fault them. They've been fantastic throughout this group stage.
Unfortunate end for Dignitas if they aren't able to hold on here. Najin Sword falling out of the base, the 2 inhibs down, the Baron buff is spawned, and Nivea's alive for Song. They have full control here, and Dignitas, if they want to stay in this, they need to wait for them to make a mistake here. They're trying to get a last-ditch Baron effort, but this could be a mistake. Najin Sword is waiting in this brush. They're all pretty low health. If they don't get any picks before full team fight breaks out, it could be bad.
Cutie
There's the pick, though.
You are going down, Cutie completely caught out. There's the crescendo. Skara's going to be the target immediately. They're just going to go straight for him. He's going to try and crescent slash across. He went towards Prey. Is he going to be able to get him down in time? Prey will get dropped. But of course he's got a Guardian Angel and it doesn't matter. The double kill for Magnoon, and Magnoon is unstoppable. He's got about 14 or 15 kills now. He's just absolutely plowing through. I'm not too sure what you're going to do against someone like him. I mean, is he the top player in the world?
He's performed better than any other top laner, at least in this group. I have to say Shy, honestly, from Azubu Frost was close to his dominating all these games. They're just pushing down into these bottlenecks, and this should do it.
This should do it indeed. It is going to be Najin Sword going 3-0 in the group. Both Korean teams matching up the victory there for Najin Sword. Absolutely outstanding performance from both these teams. Honestly, Is there anyone going to be able to stop the Koreans in this tournament? That is a big, big question for the quarterfinals tomorrow. Dignitas bow out 0-3, something a lot of people didn't expect. I actually didn't have them getting through, and honestly, I have made all the predictions so right so far. I'm quite impressed with myself.
Well, good work,
well,
man.
good work.
Overall, there weren't too many huge upsets in this group stage. A lot of people had predicted these 4 teams to move on from group stage, but with this dominating thing from Najin, you can see Mac Noon. These guys are confident. They knew they'd win this game. They're sitting back. Yeah, we got this.
They got this. Yeah, I mean they were happy with that one, and really, honestly, a fantastic performance. It was probably a little bit the sloppiest game we've seen from them, I think, so far, but I think they were having fun with it to an extent, and then they actually got caught out in a full